good. What about you?
I'm also good. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my name is Atul Sharma, and I'm from Delhi, and I'm a teacher by profession. It's been 4 years that I'm teaching in a school, and I'm also providing spoken classes to the student in a school. And simultaneously, I'm also preparing for civil services, and I love traveling, and I'm a athletic kind of person who love to, work out like, mentally and physically. So I love to do the workout in that also. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, very good to hear about you. Should I introduce myself or you know about me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Of course, you should
Okay,
introduce yourself.
yeah, my name is Pallavi Dhingra and I'm an English trainer by profession. I have been teaching online from last 10 years and I only teach online. And about my educational qualification, I'm postgraduate in English as well as TFL, TESOL certified trainer. And I'm also from Delhi. So we both are connecting from the same city.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay. So, ma'am, yeah. Do you want to ask something, or should I start?
You can ask.
Okay. So, how long have you been in this field? As you are training to these students or guiding them to how you can crack eyes and all. So, how long has it been to you in this field? And what
I told
compelled
you
you to
from
start this
last
journey?
10 years. Nothing compelled me. It just happened all by chance that I started teaching. It was never decided by my side that I will be an English trainer and I will be teaching. It just all happened.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay. So, ma'am, could you tell me that, tell us that what kind of problem that students face while, enrolling themselves in the classes, and how do you help them to get away from that kind of challenges and all?
See, the foremost problem the student have, as I'm an English trainer, so I get mostly queries for English only. So generally they are like either at the beginner level or the intermediate level or the advanced level. Because nowadays in English the things are so much advancing, even the advanced level people want to upgrade their level. So I teach all the
Yes.
levels, and the kind of problem they stuck in is the major problem of being patient and following the right technique. Only two problems. I wonder if a learner will overcome these two problems. Anyone can learn English. First of all, they are not very patient. They wonder within a month or two their English should improve. But that's not possible. If a problem you have
Yes.
for so many years, suppose they're struggling in English, some people say for 3 years, 4 years, at least give 4 months to it. So I always suggest give at least 5 to 6 months to your learning, depending on the level. And after that, then you should improve. Then the second most problem that the learners struggle in is with their being not following the right technique and the right pattern. So what happens it is they suppose a learner is there and he will just start like randomly doing some or the other stuff. But one method doesn't fit in all. So one needs to have a proper method which will fit in their learning, their personality, and will solve their purpose. Because what is the purpose of learning is that you could accomplish your goal. But if you will go something like this, then you will not reach your goal. Suppose you have to go to Goa, so you cannot just say, let me take the flight over here, anywhere I will reach shortly. So they need to have a proper plan. They need to book the ticket for Goa only. So this is, I wonder that mostly people, they have this issue. They have their willingness to learn, they have the willingness to learn, but the problem is that they do not want to give time and they do not believe in following the right pattern. This I have seen the major concern why people are not able to learn English. These two are the major concerns. And then how they can
Mhm.
improve their English. There are tons of methods available online also. And there are a lot of things. Even learners, they know everything. But I always say knowledge has no power, execution has the power. So if you know by doing this, I will learn English, by doing this, I will learn English. So it has no power. Only execution has the power. You should know how to execute and put into those things into your daily life. And for this, you really need to be accountable to yourself. Because sometimes what happens, we do it for 1 or 2 days and then we will leave it. So then it doesn't work. So I wonder, by being patient and by following the right technique, anyone can learn English, provided they actually find out what exactly is their problem area. Because sometimes learners do not know what exactly is their problem area. So I always suggest to have a proper diagnosis on that. And about improving their self, they need to improve like all the 4 areas. Just a reading, listening, writing, speaking. So all the 4 areas they need to improve, and then only they can improve their English.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, like in today's scenario, like the people are impatient. They don't have patience. Like they want to learn the thing overnight, and that's not possible. Actually, it's need a process that it may be some couple of years. It can take couple of months. It can take. So we need to follow. And second thing that you mentioned, like that's very important. Like it's not about the the kind of plethora of knowledge is there. It's all about how you are going to execute that. Means how you are going to take it for your journey. So that's really, I mean, because we know that a lot of channels are there, YouTube channels, and so many other mediums are there. But we need to understand, like the person. We need someone that who can guide us in a proper way, who can tell us like at each and every, I mean, uh, path of our uh, path that he or she should guide us. Like how we can go in a proper way. So really, it's very important, and we need to understand that. Okay.
That's right. What you said,
So
that's absolutely right. So, what do you suggest to your learners? As you also mentioned, you are an English trainer. So, what do you suggest to your learners?
yeah, yes, ma'am. I just tell them like as per my point of view, what I consider that rather than taking things, just for sake of passing a particular interview or like just for a sake of examination, we should take it as a like life, like as we speak in our mother tongue, our native language. So we can also take it for some time or for a while. We can take it as a that way only, rather than just working just for a half an hour or like one hour like that. Maybe if we have the we should, I mean, we should love our passion, we should love our doing. So whatever we are doing, we should start loving that. And if there's a love, if there's a passion, desire, curiosity, ultimately we are going to do wonder the whatever thing we are doing. So that's how I just try to, like, try to my student imbibe in that process, basically start loving. So, and I just tell them that, how it can be helpful for you if you start. Because it's been the way I started also my journey. So that's how I just try to tell them, through my experience, through the other experience that I just got to know about, like, through you or like some other people like that. So that's how I just try to, tell my student and guide them. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful to know that. Can you tell me any of the method or the suggestions that you would like to give to the learners, those who are really willing to improve?
Yes, of course. Like suppose like what happens. The what is the biggest problem that I understand is when we start learning this language. Be it so that we start like what do you call that, collecting lot of things. Like we just start enhancing our territory rather than like whatever we have is having the command on that. So suppose be like when it comes to vocabulary, we just try to go through a lot of words. We just start writing or just start like what do you call mugging up and all. So rather than like what we need to do, suppose if we have this couple of collection of the stock of words that we are having, to make sure that we start using it in a different way, like be it speaking part, writing part, listening part. So try to use, so as much as we will try to use the word that we are having, so it will be like then spontaneously we can start using that when it comes to writing and comes to speaking, like that. So rather than this enhancing or that like you're typing, I mean in the terms of words and vocabulary. First of all, what we need to do, whatever word that we have learned. So make sure that you start with few words, maybe 2 word, 3 word in a day, and then make sure that you are using it in your I mean whole your day and all. So try to use it. So what will happen is it will get fit in your mind, in your thoughts, and you will be easily you will be like at ease to use these words in your day-to-day conversation in your writing. So what I think that's fair. I mean,
Okay, yeah, very nice. You said. So generally, what do you recommend? How many months does it take for a learner to improve English? What do you suggest?
I think like as you mentioned, at least it should like it will take 4 to 5 months. Like because like initially what we find is you don't have a proper command over tenses and all. So that's a basic thing. So actually, in the initial stage, we should have the idea if we are good at that. I mean, if we are intermediate, and then as much as possible, if you can do the practice, it will be good for us. So make sure that and then it's all about the way you read, the way you listen the things, the kind of your sounding is there, your ambience is there. So through that, there's a huge impact that you get through that. So yeah.
Okay, so like, what do you like? What answer you have for this question? Like, as many learners say that we are from India and we do not have an environment, so how we can improve our English? So, what do you say on that?
Okay. So to be honest, really, we cannot deny with the fact that like being in a the kind of not being that well-versed family or where the people are talking English. So really, it's I mean like it's really hard to get grow in that language actually. But yeah, so I mean, there's a one thing, like if where there's a will, there's a way. So somehow we can have some. Suppose we can start with like make sure that you read like you read too much. You get to know about lot of vocabulary, lot of words, and start using them in. Suppose if you are a school going student, make sure that you are a active part, like you do the participation actively. You take the quiz or the speech competition, debate competition, where you put forward your thoughts and ideas and all. Make sure if you have the assembly in the school, where you can take part in. Okay, if there's a gathering like in your like area or like any event is there, any occasion is there, make sure you actively participate. So it's not about just your like the English spoken part. It's also about your communication skill that you possess. So make sure if you incorporate these all the skills, ultimately you will get better. And one thing you need to understand that it's a process. It's not an overnight that you will just in a month or just with a few days you will get better now. No, it's a process. It will take its time, but make sure that you are consistent. You don't have to live in a single day. Whether you are putting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but make sure that each and every day you are putting it. So that's what train our mind to get into that zone where like you are working. So somehow if
Yeah,
we
that
just try to
you said it right. Consistency is very important.
be important.
Mm-hmm. Because generally, what happened, the learners they are missing in the consistency. That is really
Yes,
very
yes.
important.
And what about you, ma'am? Uh, when you started your journey, I mean, did you had the like ambience to do the conversation and all, or like how did
No.
you work upon your communication?
No, I live in
Okay,
India and
you
nobody
left.
in my house speaks in English. And neither I'm not
Okay,
from Delhi. I got married in Delhi. I am actually from a small town, Bareilly in UP. So nobody speaks in English at my home. I do not have that kind of English environment. I just learned, and if you want to know and go a bit detail about it, then you can go into my channel. There is a video like how I learned my English, my story. That's a long 20 minutes video. You can watch that and you will know a lot about me over there. So that's why I
okay.
said it all happened by chance. I never thought that I will be an English trainer or I will be teaching English. But now I tell you, I really love to give classes, and without my classes, I really feel that something is missing in my life. And I am now passionate about teaching as I've been doing it for such a long time period. Now it has become my habit to teach and to give training. Moreover, I feel so happy when somebody improves through my teaching. So that's why I keep myself occupied, because education is something I believe it's a noble profession, and once you deliver your knowledge to the other person, it really gives you a lot of satisfaction and happiness.
That's great. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. So, like, you are providing like online and offline both the class. It is
No,
like
only online. Like from so many years, I only provide online classes from last 10 years. Before Corona, I have students only outside India. But after Corona, I have students from India also. But now also, majorly like 70% till date, I have students from outside India. 30% are from India only, and
that's
70%
great.
are still like outside India. I get generally a lot of students from references, because see, if anybody improves, they would refer you. So I get like
Yes,
most of my students from references.
that's great. So, like, from abroad, like from which part of country you find the most of the students?
See,
Like,
I tell you, I have they are NRIs. I won't say they are the native speakers. They are NRIs, generally from US, Canada, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Ireland, Netherlands, and what's the name of that place? Uh, I'm missing that name. One more name. It's a European country. So that's why, like, I have
okay,
people from like different countries.
yeah. Means I have seen like in the Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore. I mean Singapore and all.
Yeah, I have
So
a student from
I mean,
Malaysia
they are all.
also.
Yeah, yeah. Because I have seen couple of students from there also, like they are very enthusiastic about this language. Because we know that's a global language, and right, come to grab the opportunity. So if someone having good communication skills with English, so that person can rock in the world. So yeah,
Yeah, that you
that's
said
great.
rightly. English, to learn English is very important. It has become actually the need of the hour for anyone to speak good in English. Because if you are good in your communication skills, it gives you a lot of confidence and you can deliver yourself well. Even though you are good in your own profession, but if you do not know how to deliver that, then you won't be able to perform your best. Today, only in the morning, I got a query, and he said he is already a teacher. He teaches like chemistry and maths and one more subject he was mentioning. And he said he is very good at his teaching part, but he doesn't know how to deliver his knowledge well because his students speak better than him. So I tell you,
Okay.
speaking English is very important. He is accepting this fact that he is best at his profession, but when he has to deliver the same thing in English, he is struggling with it. So I tell you, speaking English and learning English at the best is very important these days for everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Like, what's your thought? Like, what's your intake about, like, if the person is he from, I mean, like, what do you call that? Hindi medium or like Hindi medium school, and the surrounding ambience is also not that means conducive. So, what's like how he or she can work upon that in that scenario? Like, how do you think?
See, I
What
tell
he or
you,
she
first
should
of
do?
all, a person needs to have dedication, and anyone should keep in their mind that they should give around, at least if a person is not from English medium and is from Hindi medium or vernacular medium, so should give at least 8 to 9 months to the learning. They should think like when they enroll in the school, they are suppose in class 8, then it takes 1 year to complete class 9. So they should keep in their mind initially before learning that it will take 1 year or 8 months, 9 months for me to improve my English. And then they start that too with the right approach and right technique, which I always say, and a person can start by listening. Number one, very important, because listening is the input. When we have the input, only then we can have the output. So listen a lot of stuff and make yourself familiarized with it. So more and more you will make yourself familiarized with the stuff, you will be able to speak. You can listen to anything in English, like vlogs, travel channel, or trading in English, anything, whatever the person has an interest in. And then the second foremost step is try to speak. Whatever you hear, try to speak the same. Because if any topic is given to that person, he won't be able to speak. But if you hear something, then you can speak on that. And after that, it is then grammar is like the later part. Even without grammar, a person can do. It's not that first you have to learn grammar and then you should do. This was like old school. But nowadays, with the modern technique and modern layouts, even without learning grammar, you can improve your English. And then writing is also very important because when we write, we think and write. So once your thought process is in English, so surely you can improve. And also, very most important thing is that you should think in English. Like whatever you're doing, suppose from morning till this time, whatever I do now, it has become my habit to think in English. I only think in English. Like I just went to the gym, then after that I came home, I sent my kids to school, then I prepared the breakfast. So I do not think in Hindi. अभी मैं gym जाऊंगी, फिर मुझे आके अपने बच्चों को school भेजना है, फिर उसके बाद मुझे खाना बनाना. I don't think in Hindi at all. Now it has become my habit. I say it will take a bit of time, at least 3 to 4 months of conscious efforts, because every time you will try to think in English, वो हिंदी में ही सोचोगे आप. Why? Because it is
Yes,
your
yes,
habit. So whenever it happens, give yourself a pinch or a thought. No, now I have to think in English. It's okay. Don't put a hammer on yourself. Whenever you remember, try to think in English then. And you will realize that even with the basic things, you do not know the English because you're not in the habit of thinking those things. So you can
yes.
always Google. So foremost thing I always suggest think in English. Why? Because we think in Hindi and we expect English from ours now. That is not possible. If your input is Hindi, the output will be Hindi at the best or the mother language.
Sure,
But if
ma'am.
your input is English, the output will be English. So with this technique, anyone can improve their English even without outside force, and that too can even maintain after a long run. Because what happens till the time anyone is taking classes or in that environment, their English is good. But after leaving that, what happens? We just forget. So by doing this method, by thinking in English, you can even make your English improve till the time you want to speak in English.
Super, man. Super. Really, like the way you said, like these are really very important tips that one can understand, and if they follow that, really they can do wonders. Because we know that like ultimately it's not a couple of months or year journey. You have to actually live it. You have to live it this way actually, and when you start living with this way, you start loving this. You start learning a lot of things. So really it's a very important way that we can uh, imbibe in ourselves and do wonders in our life.
Yeah. Okay, so it was lovely connecting with you, and I really like to have a conversation with you. And if you have anything, you can ask me up, or else we can wind up the session.
Yes, ma'am. Really, I also love the conversation with you and the way you explained the things. It was, very elucidatively you, like told everything. So I really love the conversation with you. Thank you so much for taking all your
Yeah,
time.
same here.
And yeah,
Welcome.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Bye, ma'am.